Hi there, welcome to C2 Sews. My name is Colleen. I'm going to be making a teddy bear. I decided to use up all my minky because it's taking up too much space in my storage. And these little guys only take about a 4-minute stitch out. So I'm just going to be making some of them and donating it to the Children's Hospital. And I thought I'd show you how I will make one of them. I just purchased the pattern off Etsy. It was a really cheap pattern. It's a very basic pattern, but it's good, and the teddy bear is just so easy to sew. It's easy for beginners, and this is the smallest size it comes in, a 5x7 hoop, which is nice and easy for a little baby to handle. And then this guy is the 8x8. That's the bigger one. So, although this one says 8x8, when I put the design into my 8x8 hoop, it said that the design was too big for the hoop. And all I had to do was just adjust the size by 1 notch, and then it was fine. But today I'm going to make it in a 6x10 hoop because no sizing has to be adjusted. It will fit in here just perfectly. And all you need is 2 pieces of fabric. Once again, the pattern doesn't tell you what size fabric you need, but as long as it covers the inside of your hoop, you're going to be okay. So you'll need 2 of that and a little bit of white flannel just for his mouth area and his ears. So it's only really a ton. That's way too big, but that's fine. And I usually just take a blending thread for the main body, just so that the stitching in the seams is not obvious. And really you only need white and black thread for the eyes and nose. And a bit of polyfill, hobbyfill, whatever it's called in your country. And cutaway stabilizer. So let's go to the machine. We need a little piece of topping just for the face area so that the design doesn't sink into the pile, especially when you work with this type of minky, which is really fluffy. The features can get lost in all that fluffy bits, but this will help keep it on top. Just that when it comes to removing it, you have to make sure you remove every bit, because we wouldn't want little children to swallow any plastic. This is wash away, so it will dissolve, but it's not good for children to swallow. So as long as we remove it, it will be okay. So let's go to the machine and start making our teddy bear. So I've got the design loaded up onto my machine. I've also told the machine that I'm using a 6x10 hoop. This is 6 1/4 by 10 1/4. It's not quite necessary. The machine will automatically know what hoop you've put into it, but I like it because it shows me the frame of the hoop, and it shows me how much space I have around my design. So I just like that. Sometimes I move my design around so that I can fit in another design at the bottom to utilize all my stabilizer. So I just make a habit of always telling the machine what size hoop I use. And we'll go embroidery. So we can see here, it's going to be a 4-minute stitch out. So nice and easy. Let's get started. I've got my hoop in my machine, and I've changed my thread color to match my fabric. And let's go. This is a placement line for the teddy bear. This is the 8x8 teddy bear I'm making. So now we have to place our fabric covering the whole placement line. When using Minky, this one is a very thin Minky because the others, they fluff so much. I had so much fluff everywhere. But I like this too because it's so soft. If you rub your finger up the fabric and you see it, all the pile standing upright, then that would be the top and this would be the bottom, right? Because you want that when you wipe your finger down, then this is the correct way to place your fabric over the placement line. You do not want it this way or that way. You want it this way where the pile is going down, not in any other direction. It just gives for a better finish. So I've placed that covering the whole placement line, and we will secure that down. So this is a tack down stitch that we're going to do now. So now we're going to give him a bit of a face. What I am going to do is I'm going to just place this. Oh, I won't do that just yet. It's not important. I'm going to change my thread to white to match the flannel. So it's going to give me the placement lines for the ears. I know I've cut this one. That was just for neatness, but I'm going to use up my little scrap piece because it's still big enough. I never cut to size. I'd rather just fit them around and get them. Somehow we can use every piece without too much waste. So as long as I know that that's covering both those tack down stitches. If I just had two small pieces, I put a small piece there and a small piece there, but we're okay at this moment. I try and be frugal at times until I walk into a quilt shop and then frugal does not exist. Okay. So now we have to cut away the excess flannel just around the tack down stitch. Okay, I've cut away the excess fabric, and now it will just secure that down. It's just like a raw edge applique. Right, so now we're going to do the mouth area, the muzzle, whatever it's called. So here's my little remnant again, and I'll just cover that whole placement area. I always just try and do it as best. You can sticky tape this down if you like, but flannel on flannel, they kind of don't move around. Right, so I'm going to once again cut the excess fabric close to the stitch line. So I've trimmed the excess fabric, and now it will just tidy up that bit. Okay, I'll just take a bit of fluff away there, and a bit of a thread. I'll cut it away later. Okay, time to change the thread color to black, and we're going to give this guy some eyes and a nose. Oops, sorry. So I've got my black in, and this is where you would like to put the top in, just to keep this stitching on top of the face. So once again, you can put some sticky tape down just to secure that, but once it starts stitching, it actually just holds it in place. But it can slip around at times when you don't want it to slip around. I see a thread that I would like to cut away before it sews anymore. I always try and catch the thread before it gets sewn in too much, then it's too hard. Oops, sorry. And just eyes. And now just have to change the thread color to white, just to complete the eyes. And that's it. So this is the part where we will put the back of the teddy bear on top. We remove this, and this is where we have to make sure we remove everything so that little babies don't. So it comes away pretty easy. And I should say, if you want to put a name or a monogram or a little heart, this is the time you can do it. All you have to do is tell your machine to add that, and this is the time to do it. Once again, if you do, you place your topping down and you stitch the name or monogram on top of it to keep it above, to prevent it from sinking into the pile. Anyway, so now we're going to put the back of teddy bear in. Once again, I'm going to check which way the pile goes, so I can see that's the right side. So I'm going to fold it over, put pretty sides together. I got caught, just hold on. There we go. If that happens, where your fabric gets caught on that, just put your foot down and your fabric will come out. It's easy. So we'll cover the whole of teddy bear, and we will change our thread back to the matching thread for the body of the teddy bear. So I'll just do that quickly, and then our sewing will be complete. That's how quick it is. And now we'll do our final stitch, and it will leave an opening so that we can turn teddy bear through. There you go. So we'll go to the table and get this guy out to the hoop, trim the excess fabric away, and give him some filling and make him look like a teddy bear. I removed the project from the hoop, and now I'm just going to cut a little bit away from these stitches, not too close, but about maybe just a little less than 1/4 of an inch. And then as you go into these narrow corners, just try and clip it as far in as possible that it will turn out nice and neatly. And here where it's left an opening to turn through, leave extra fabric, just extra, so that you can tuck it in neatly in order to stitch it without the stitching, fraying the fabric. I don't know if it will, but it depends what kind of fabric you're using. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this out now. So I've trimmed all the fabric back, and normally you'd want to cut little slits in here, but these teddies are so small that they turned out okay. It didn't matter. I didn't do that. But what I did do is go into these little corners and just snip it close to the stitches, but not the stitches, just so that it doesn't pull and distort when you turn the project out. And then once, even especially that corner, just go right in there and snip it. See? So my stitches are still there, it's just the fabric so that it can separate. And yeah, and then once you finish doing that, turn it through. I've left this extra bit which I mentioned earlier, just so that you can fold it in nicely and you'll have fabric to work with to stitch it close. You'll only have that small gap in order to close. So turn teddy through and put some polyfill in, and you'll end up with this guy. That's what he will look like. And there's the opening that will need to be whip stitched. You just tuck him in neatly, and that's when I'm sitting at the TV later. I'll sit and just whip that through, and yeah, and we'll have some nice little friends for the little children. But these are going to the children's hospital to comfort the sick. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you back soon. Thank you. Bye now.